everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. Hey y'all, welcome to the Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast where we break down all of the drama, shade, and iconic moments from your favorite reality shows. I'm Poe Theory.
I'm Jared.
I'm Danielle.
Hi guys.
Good evening.
Oh.
Not good evening, chow. How's everybody?
Exhausted,
I'm over it.
but alive.
Well, that's a blessing. I'm well. Just, living, had a very productive day today. I knocked out so much stuff. I felt like I achieved quite a bit in life. I'm trying and whatever.
Yes.
Say that again?
I said yes, adulting.
Right.
I'm trying, child. And you know what's so crazy is that I always feel so good whenever I knock out a whole bunch of stuff. When I do all the things that I know I need to do, getting enough of sleep, having a list of the things I need to do, taking my Adderall, like that. All right, guys, so we are here to break down the Real Housewives of Potomac, part 2 of their reunion. I would say this may be, honestly, the first time Potomac has ever, and I mean ever, giving me an Atlanta old school vibe.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I say that in the way of the girls were having fun. The girls were interacting. There wasn't any darkness really until we got to the latter part of the episode, but the darkness was warranted.
Oh, absolutely.
But throughout the episode, just even Gizelle was just, I don't think I've ever had a positive thing to say about Gizelle, like ever. And she just was like, okay, finally I get to see, I guess, what Robin got to see. Or Ashley got to see. Child.
No, the character development was there for Giselle. I'm not going to, she was very mature.
No, she definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can say that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was I don't know what it is or what Robin's absence how that's impacted how Giselle's been performing, but it's just been, it's a different vibe from what I'm used to from her, but I've been enjoying it.
Well, remember she iced out a lot of those same girls that she's now friends with. So she really didn't have, now that Robin's gone, and so is the Grand Dame, you actually had to stop being the mean girl.
That's true.
You had to stop. You actually had to, you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact. And so we start off the episode, obviously, behind this backstage. Mia is having a full breakdown simply because Stacy is just being real with her by saying, like, hey, I actually think that you are only doing this because we are bringing this up to you now and it's on camera. And now that you're not getting your way, you want to cry. So, of course, she storms off and is crying and saying she's done. Can someone get me out of this dress? And then Andy comes into the dressing room. Call me crazy. I don't think I've ever seen Andy really give that level of care before to the people that have stormed off in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he kind of just felt bad for... Well, one, they're already missing one cast member, and Andy's like, we can't be down 2 girls, I think. And then 2, I mean, even though it was deserved, it's sometimes... Because the thing about Mia is a liar and all those things, I feel like. But I don't feel like at the core Mia is a bad person. So with that being said, like, her just getting, like, whacked left and right with no legs to stand on was, I mean, enjoyable to watch. But... I don't know. I mean, I felt bad in a way, but I was also like, yeah, get her. I mean, it was just like, you could just see, like, to me, she just seems like defeated. Granted, it's all by her own doing.
Well,
but yeah, it's just like, and it's like, I feel like, I don't know what time of day this was, but there's still a lot of things that haven't been covered. And you can just tell that she knows that the day is not going to get any better for her, which is why I feel like she was already ready to pack it up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's fair. I don't feel bad for me at all because, again, everything that's happening to her is solely because she absolutely stirred this pot. She threw the rock, hit the hand, threw it again. I mean, everything she's done up until this very point has been her fault. So I just think the way that Andy, when he approached that, he actually did that twice in that episode where he was super compassionate, and I was like, Andy, again, not jumping ahead, but he was like that in the episode when talking about Wendy's dress. We're seeing we saw a different side of Andy, and I agree with you, Jared. Like, yes, she was defeated like a dog, but also, again, I think it was more being in person and seeing that, probably like, oh my God, well, stop dragging her. Let the hair go. So I can see it, but I don't feel bad.
You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. Moving on, everyone comes back to the stage and then they start back over with Gizelle, which was really interesting to me that they said, we're going to come back to the G&A. So they continued the package with G&A as if Jazelle and Ashley are now an item. Like, we've never even seen a Robin and Gizelle package before, unless it was like in the earlier seasons when they talked about their friendship. But essentially, this part is about Gizelle and her being an empty nester. And she basically just goes on to say, like, what her experience has been for her as an empty nester. She says she loves it. I'm sure at first it was difficult for her to, like, the oldest one went away 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
Yeah, the kids are like Irish twins. The oldest daughter and the twins. So they're like 2 years apart.
So it's kind of like she's been hit back to back, with her kids leaving. And she did say both of her girls, the twins, they have those. And did you see like how the camera cut to Mia to see her expression? I thought that was so shady.
That was messy.
It was, in the best way.
It was. And then I guess the audience member asked if, her and Jamal, how she's with Jamal. She said she's fine with Jamal. And then apparently their wedding photo, they were wearing pink and green. And I guess the audience member asked, are they big fans of Wicked? The whole time I was thinking like maybe the new wife is an AKA because it was pink and green.
Right.
I didn't think about that.
Alphaba and Glinda blew me up.
No, that was too much.
That took me out. When they said that Jamal was Alphaba, I was like...
So then they jump over to Gizelle dating, and Gizelle says her and that guy is still going strong. I don't know how much I believe that her and that guy are still dating.
The whole dating situation, the way that they produced this whole dating situation, specifically with Jazelle and Ashley, considering that they have this Love Hotel show coming up, that I believe they filmed right after. Yeah, and it's about to air soon. So then we have to watch them go through this show and then see what happens. I don't know. That whole thing, I think they could have done better with how they produced that and because it just makes it either seem set up and not believable, or two, it's going to make Love Hotel seem set up and not believable. Like, either way, it's like, so which one is the real deal? Like, are they dating these guys from this show? Are they going to date the guys they meet on Love Hotel? So they not find anybody on Love Hotel? I guess we have to wait and see. But it's all just kind of put together weird to me.
That's a fair point.
No, I definitely agree. And so then they go over to Ashley, and Ashley basically says her and the guy have kind of slowed down. They're not going as hard as they were going before, but he did send her off. And then Giselle's new energy is like, well, did he send you off with sperm? When I tell you that gags me so bad.
Same.
Like, she's just hurt. Like, she's just so free and just having fun. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think Gizelle was like this when Robin was on.
No.
In their solo scenes.
She wasn't. But you have to think about it, too. Remember, we met Gizelle and when the girls were really small. And she was already separated. She already had this divorce thing down packed. She was building a house at the same time. Like, she was doing a lot of things when the girls were younger. And she's always been, out of all of the housewives, specifically Gizelle she's always been on Front Street with the girls. She's been their number one cheerleader. She doesn't miss a thing. They're in so many things and she's always there. She'd be leaving trips with the housewives to go to an event for the girls.
Right.
Yeah.
So we saw that in real life. So I think right now she's in her prime. And she's not a bad looking woman for a woman of a particular age. She actually looks really good. And now she looks even better than ever. So I'm sure a little young thing is probably, razzling and dazzling.
Danielle, you really hate older people. I'm really getting to that point. Like, she's a woman of a particular age, so you know how that goes. How does it go?
Oh, I'm
like,
not.
What? Girl, Giselle's, how old is Gizelle? In her 50s?
Ooh.
If I had to guess, I would say like 54.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, Danielle. You're going to blink.
She mentions somebody's age every episode.
Yes. And you're going to blink, and you're going to be in your 40s or 50s. I guarantee you. God willing.
Well, I hope I make it.
Jesus Christ. There's always some shade to the older girls.
I love Nana.
Oh, not Nana. Okay. So then Ashley, why? Who cares about Jack Harlow? Like, why even who cares about his opinion? Apparently he was offended because Wendy said that it was a lateral move, which, to be fair, that was some shady shit because that man is light years more fine than
Jack Harlow.
What's his name?
Right.
Jack Harlow.
What is his name?
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, like light years more fine than Michael. So saying it's a lateral move. I guess she was saying lateral because they both white.
Maybe. I was wondering if she was talking about in terms of status or money. I don't know.
Oh, he popping like that? Jack Harlow popping like that?
I mean, I doubt it. So I really didn't know where she was going. I didn't know how it was lateral.
I didn't know yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. And then I just appreciated how Wendy's so good at going back and forth with the girls. I just wish she had people on the cast that could do it with her.
Yeah.
Because nobody can stand toe-to-toe with her. And it's almost as if everyone's so bad at going toe-to-toe with Wendy that it doesn't make Wendy look like she's bullying them. It takes away the seriousness of the back and forth because even Ashley was bringing it up just to bring it up. She wasn't even really trying to go, well, I just said what I said. Like,
yeah.
Come on. Like, it just wasn't, it didn't get there. I didn't understand it.
I just didn't, it seemed like underlying issue. Like, Ashley's eyebrows were raised. Like, she was very upset. Like, her vein was popping out. Like,
she was fighting for that man.
She really was. I'm like, y'all not.
She said his friends were texting him. And like, can you believe she said this? And I agree with Wendy's like, they're texting that. That's what they're worried about in this world. Okay. Right. Like, come on. Who cares? But then Wendy hits her in the jugular and calls her miserable. I was like, dang, Wendy, like.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. Ashley has always been like, Ashley came on season 1. I just feel like Ashley cusses people really hard on Wanted. Even her season 1 when she came on talking about Robin's finances was like, girl, like what? Yeah. So I think I'm not mad at Wendy calling Ashley miserable, especially as it relates to, and then she brings up, is Eddie still practicing law? Who gives a what are you doing, lady?
Wendy ate that lady up after that, because don't you ever mention my husband. First of all, she voted Phaedra. She said, don't ever mention my husband and the father of my children. I was like, period.
What gags me about that was you made it seem like he got disbarred.
Right.
Once a lawyer, always a lawyer. I may not try a case for another year, but guess what? I'm an attorney. Guess what? I work.
And he has jobs. Weren't they just talking about how well Happy Eddie was doing? Maybe he doesn't need to practice law that much.
Hello. Like that was it was just such a weird shade. It bothers me so bad because that I will say this part gave a hint to Real Housewives of Potomac of the times that I couldn't stand it, where it's like, know your place. Like, no shade, Ashley, you are a pageant girl. You know, I'm never gonna knock that. That's a big deal. But at the end of the day, you trying to drag an attorney?
Yeah.
Hello.
That's
like,
married to a doctor.
A doctor.
Hello.
Like, come on. Like, are you serious? That's how I used to feel about when they would try to come for Candace. It's like, you want to come for Candace? But yeah, like, even when they would come for Candace, it always would crack me up because if you want to talk about the aura that they try to bring out on this show, Candace is literally what that is. Candace, Monique, and Wendy are those girls. And everyone else here is kept and has been kept.
And again, and Ashley would be one of the ones that used to lead those charges against Candace, the least accomplished woman there.
That woman said, and I say this all the time because you know y'all, I love to go for the juggler. Well, I love for them to go for the juggler. I be sending them DMs like, you should say this. But when that girl said to her that those couple seasons ago, oh, this your mama house. This your mama house. The first thing I would have said back to her, well, at least my mother can afford to buy me a home. I don't have to buy my mother anything. My husband doesn't have to take care of my mother like your husband does.
Exactly.
Watch your mouth. Ashy. Ooh, that would have upset me. So then we move on to Kay and Stacy's package. And then, you know, we get the whole rundown with her and Greg. I'm gonna be real with you. Everything that Kay said about Greg in this segment completely changed my mind about Greg. And some of the stuff was repeated that she had said throughout the season, but for some reason, I don't know if it was more succinct, if it was just, I don't know, but she went on to say that her and Greg are still together, but smart girl. Maybe because she was smart in everything that she did around it. She said that she had moved out from, they're no longer living together. They did separate for a little bit, and then she's in the process of buying a premarital home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, Kay, okay.
Right.
Tens across the board. I was very proud. Sorry, very proud.
Yeah, she definitely did a good job defending him. I mean, I'm still not personally Team Greg.
Yeah,
my opinion on him. Yeah. But I think specifically in this moment and as a whole in this reunion, even though she's only had so much to say, which I didn't expect much from her in the reunion because she didn't do a ton this season. But when she has spoken, I think she's done a really good job of explaining herself, defending her position, standing on business, as she says in her tagline.
Right.
So, yeah, I appreciate it, what she gave and how she explained it and laid it out.
So the only thing I would say that kind of threw me off in terms of how she defended him, because it made me think of view him as like, how are you not able to view the bigger picture? So where I agreed with him was, yeah, if my girlfriend, fiance, or wife is going into an environment where she now has a scar on her face, and then when she goes to that reunion, said leaders of this show blames her and said that she was the cause of this, which she was attacked.
Right.
So I can agree with Greg from that standpoint. My issue is that when you don't see the bigger picture of how this platform can balloon both of y'all's success. Greg, you have a whole practice. Mm-hmm. It is not lost on me that his name is Greg and he is a psychiatrist or psychologist that has a practice, and we have a Greg on Married to Medicine that does the exact same thing. Yeah, he's a doctor.
No. Wait, Kay's man is a doctor?
Yeah, isn't he a doctor?
I don't know if he's a full doctor.
I've never heard anyone use a doctor in front of his hand.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a full doctor.
So what is the practice that they have?
I thought it was like clinical, like social awareness, doing something. Yeah, no. I ain't never heard no doctor. I ain't.
And I feel like she definitely would have announced that.
Greg is a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he does have a practice. He does own his own business, like outreach, community service. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gagged by that. I thought this man was really a doctor. He not a doctor?
He does not take an MCAT. Absolutely not.
Oh, who knew? Okay, I might have to do a little bit more research on that. My bad. Let me say that back. But still, this platform can grow your practice. It could also it will grow her business and what other endeavors that you guys would like to go on. So I just would like him to try to view it for more so of a fuller picture. But she definitely came back to let us know I ain't no dumb girl, because I feel like she's been reading the comments and seeing what people have been saying.
Yeah.
Agreed. Love that she bought that condo. Like, yes, I still am that girl.
No, 100%. Like a very smart girl. And so then Andy being shady. Andy was very shady this reunion. He then jumps over and says, well, on the opposite of things, the girl said TJ loved the camera. And I was just so gagged. But it was funny because how he led into it, I think Wendy was like the only one that caught it, letting them know that they are no longer together. And I'm assuming Stacy did not let the girls know that.
Oh, she didn't. Talking to none of them ladies, you can tell by the energy on the couch. Stacy hasn't seen any of those women since they rapped.
That's crazy.
Well, she tried to see Mia.
Well, she tried. You see her? No. So you see?
She tried. She tried very hard to see Mia. Poor little thing. Stacy says the reason that they aren't together anymore is because some of the stuff that she saw on TV and the pressure that she felt from him. It just didn't work out. And then her family seeing it as well. And so she felt like it was just time for her, to just end the relationship.
What relationship?
Right. I was going to say my thought was the same. Did y'all catch the side comment from Kay when she's just like, were they ever together?
Right. That relationship was just so odd to me. The only reason I thought it was real is because the way Stacy shows up. Like a ditzy type of chick. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I thought it was real.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Especially a best friend, especially with his tendencies.
Not the tendencies, y'all.
Well, you know what? TJ lost respect from me at Wendy's birthday party when he tried to talking about you left me. First of all, you was doing Ray's ear. You wasn't looking for Stacy. Okay.
Right.
You got mad and got sneaky aggressive. I didn't like that because I'm like, oh, this is a different man. Who is that? So that was strike one. Strike two is you wearing my sheer shirt at Watch What Happens Live when you were the bartender. I didn't like that.
Okay, Danielle. Just wait it out.
I own the shirt.
Way to out this man.
You have that shirt?
I was outing him. Whitney outed him in that clip that she spoke on.
And that's what I was going to say. Let's move on to. So she also says that it was hurtful about the implications of him being gay. And I really appreciated how Wendy just jumped straight out and said, yeah, that was me. I apologize. I should not have done that. I struggle with this because I don't know if I'm being a hypocrite in what I'm about to say. I do not like when people question someone's sexuality, especially if they are presenting themselves to be straight.
I agree with you to an extent. I think, let me say, as gay people, I'm okay with it because I feel like
as gay people, yes, yes.
I feel like we know certain. I mean, I'm never gonna full on out a person, but if I recognize certain behaviors as a gay man, then I'm gonna acknowledge that.
Well, I can say that. I can say that as well. I mean, my gaydar. Again, I'm a pillar in my community. I love my people.
It is not your community.
You
are adjacent to it.
You're an ally.
I'm an ally.
Danielle's a little bit more than an ally.
Oh, well.
She's a perpetrator. She's not going to bond you out. She's in jail with you. That's the type of,
I wouldn't, obviously, I do not condone outing at all. Again, I agree with the tendencies. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like one, and then it's almost like you want us to say something about it, I feel like. And TJ, again, is a person who is looking at the camera. He's very well aware and a very put together person when it comes time to the spotlight. So he wouldn't be doing the things that he's doing, not knowing that the camera's on him. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But funny enough, Stacy says they broke up around the holidays, which this was filmed in January. So I actually would like to say, just kind of not piggybacking, but going back to what Danielle said about them possibly not communicating. If they recorded January 9th, only reason I know is because I remember the flashbacks when they were talking about the videos dropping. And if she said they broke up around the holidays, at most they've been broken up a month. So had it been like 6 months ago, then I'm like, okay, maybe she actually isn't talking to the cast. But now that we know that they broke up around the holidays and it's January 9th when they're recording, maybe I'm sure there's 1,000,001 other things before updating them. And then she also said, Stacy the divorce is done. Like, that's embarrassing. For Ashley, exactly.
Ashley, literally what I said when I said Ashley should be ashamed of yourself sitting on that couch with that lady, and you need to ask her who her divorce attorney is, because y'all both marry white men, so it can't be that. Somebody needs to file it.
What I felt was really shady, and I did not appreciate this. I'm not the biggest fan of this person, but when they were talking about the parallels between Kenya and Stacy, and then they flashed back to with Kenya with Walter, I ain't like that.
Why not?
I felt like because y'all didn't kick me off this show. Y'all didn't kick me off the network. Then don't use my flashbacks. I'm not even on the show. I've never even seen a cross-franchise flashback on a reunion.
I was under the impression that they didn't kick Kenya off. Kenya left on her own.
No, Kenya. She got fired.
So she's still spoken about that. She said she still has a good relationship with the network, and at the time they just couldn't come to an agreement, so she decided not to come back.
Nah, she was already had her full contract. After that, all that drama happened, I think she's just doing the opposite of Nene. She's not trying to burn a bridge. I still have a great relationship, but at the end of the day, they told her, like, yeah, go in and sit on out, dog.
Right.
Well, I don't feel bad about it. I'm fine with the flashback. I've never liked Kenya like that anyway, so whatever. And she did.
We've always agreed upon that. Yeah.
Plus, I always got the Kenya and Walter vibe from this whole situation as well from the beginning. So It's fine with me for them to use it.
Detroit down, like in and out. Ain't that crazy? What were you
Plus
gonna
the
say?
fact that they look alike.
Yeah, look alike, move alike, everything is alike. That's what I've been saying. Y'all tried to tell me that I was crazy for thinking that.
I didn't say that. I agreed with you.
Oh, well, maybe it was Danielle. Danielle said, what? You think she look like Kenya?
I ain't never went to bat for Kenya.
Oh, my God.
I ain't never went to bat for Kenya. Oh, nasty skin. I ain't never.
Oh.
She always does that. Talk about that lady's skin.
That lady's, you too grown to have pizza face. Come on now. You got too much money. Go see a dermatologist.
She gonna call her old next.
Oh, she 12. She ain't no spring chicken.
Danielle, stop it. And so then they go into like their little fashion montage. And of course, you know, again, Wendy is that girl. I just think when you're not around other girls that are those girls or try to at least judge it up a bit, I don't really feel like they put a lot of like even if you don't have friends that are like super into fashion, you still need people around you that recognize that you look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like that she's in a group that lets her know that she's killing the girls, because there were a lot of looks that I was like, Wendy is killing it this season. Huh?
She ate him up, but also we all know that Potomac is the worst dressed housewife to date, the franchise. And
well, yeah, one of the worst. I mean, Jersey is right up there with them.
Oh, Jersey is right next to him.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh, it's right next to him. But Potomac, you know why Potomac's first? Because y'all really should have it, and y'all don't. Because y'all try to put looks on, and they're never on. That's why Potomac is going to be first. Jersey don't care. It's going to showcase.
That's fair. Jersey gets what we expect from Jersey.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to be gaudy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna give you jewelry. We're gonna give you house, property. They're not gonna dress. But this is why Potomac. But Wendy throwing on for her looks. But like I was gonna say is, Wendy is she's the bad bitch in a room full of bad bitches on a different level. If that makes sense. And her light doesn't truly shine because it's almost like she's always overpowering them, and she always will.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy about it. And
outside of Karen, because Karen be coming. Karen be coming with the girls.
Well, she's the only one who can wear a 613.
Oh, you stupid. And so they get onto the whole debacle about the dress with Viv and all this stuff, and then apparently this is when we realize that there's a lot of Detroit coming out, because everyone has always said, you know, I don't know, I just refuse to believe that Stacy is truly this way. I was going to say that I didn't think that she was as prim and proper, but I didn't think her other side would be that.
We had this argument. Do you remember it? And I was like, I don't believe this. Jared, when I say I was going tooth and nail over this, once a person tells me they're from Detroit, Michigan, Ford Explorers, like, stop. Just stop. You don't talk. Your whole family is from Detroit. You're born and raised in the D. Absolutely not. You can take the girl out of the D. You can't take the D out of the girl. So.
Well, what about Kenya? Kenya's from Detroit, and we've seen Kenya lose her, and Kenya does not lose her class. She still has class about her, even when she loses her shit.
She still can say F you, bitch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the way they said it, like, man, f that bitch. That's how they made it seem like Stacey had said it. And then Kay gonna be messy talking about, you speak that way? Meanwhile, Kay is saying, yeah, that's how she talked when we were roommates when they went out of town. So it's like, I guess everybody, and this is probably where it comes from with Garcelle, with Gizelle coming at her the way she's coming at her, like, because I know you're not being real. And the person that you actually are will do much better for the show.
Yeah, no, 100. And she said that while the season was airing, like I remember Jazelle saying that exact same thing on Watch What Happens Live, that she wants Stacy to show up as her true self. So I think you are completely right in that. That's kind of the reason Gizelle keeps poking at her, to kind of try to pull all of that out of her and to get her to really be herself.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that 100%.
Or Vivi got it. She's been designing gowns for seasons.
Right.
Well, who gonna be doing the gowns next season since she can't talk to Vivi anymore?
I cannot. So then Jacqueline arrives on the stage, and she is pregnant as ever. Everything about her just makes me ick. And then, of course, the first thing out of her mouth, everything's so wrong about Jacqueline. First of all, I don't know if y'all caught this, but I guess when she announces that she's pregnant, instead of looking at the cast, she turns and looks directly at the front-facing camera.
Idiot.
Like,
They don't like her. Because they could have turned that camera to face that. They made sure to show it from the side to show that she don't know what she's doing.
Just as slow as a box of rocks.
Right. Oh. And what else cracked me up, and Twitter keeps dragging her about this too, was when she says "stay tuned," and they're like, "If anybody does anybody care?"
Right. Out.
Like, stay tuned for what, sis? So then, after she does that, for her to say out her mouth, and yes, it's not from it. The baby is not anybody that we know from the show. It's not Ink or Gordon's. Nobody thought that. Nobody is going along with this weird incestuous relationships that you guys have. We are all grown. Everybody that watches this show are majority grown. Nobody is feeling the judge. Nobody cares. Nobody likes it. Nobody thinks it's funny or cute. It's not like, and then also too, let's be very clear. Nobody is fight me in the comments. I don't care. Jacqueline may be the most attractive one in that whole quadruple, whatever you want to call it. So there's not even anything sexy about this. Like it just doesn't.
No, it's
it's getting weird.
It's getting very weird.
You know why it's so weird too? Because we've seen their families, like children. It's a mess. And did you catch Ashley shade when she asked, was the man at one of their premiere parties? And she was like, and that's what she said, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But who cares about whoever this guy was at the party?
He's a nobody.
Like, why does he matter?
He's a nobody.
Like, weird.
And you're
so, no, 100%. So then Mia says Ink and her aren't together anymore, and she realizes that she did it all wrong, and that she says it's very hard because she's worked very hard for her family, and now it's very hard to see everything has fallen apart. And then Andy says, but in your tagline, you said ink is forever. No, ink is permanent. That girl is breaking down about the dissolution of her life and her family, and then here come Andy. Like, come on. And even Ashley over here, she couldn't hold it together like Andy. Like, Andy was on one. Like, he was legitimately on one.
Not good.
No.
Mia's whole situation is a mess. It's a clusterfuck. And it's not even entertaining messy, because we all love a good mess. That's why we're tuned in, right? So we love a little drama. We love shit to be shaken up a little bit. But your shit is disturbing. Like, it's icky. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. It's not funny. It's disturbing. You have a lot of people involved in it too. So that's another thing. It's just too much. And then you're lying.
Right. Well, that's because Danielle, the main thing that makes it icky, which is where we get into the next part, is that it's so obviously set up and laid out the way that they wanted to present this. Yeah. And the way that Gizelle and Wendy just both started tag teaming her, laying her ass out, like, it was just so fun to watch. I've never seen Gizelle in that form, and them two together is dangerous.
You know, that's really a great point, Jared. I never thought about it like that. That we've actually never seen Gizelle in that form ever. The only time we've ever seen Gizelle like that is when she is I'm not giving you nothing, or she yells or does like, I'm done, you know, that type of thing. But she was just going, response, going, boom, boom, boom. Like,
she wore her out. When that lady said that Mia was in the back of the plane.
She's like, you're back. She said, where do your kids go to school? ATL. It was rolling off her tongue. I was like, damn, eat her up.
Right. And then what really kind of messed me up was when Stacy came in and was like, Mia, don't you want to end this? Like, don't you just want to end this? Like, she's pleading with her, like, you're making yourself look really bad about this. And I'm not understanding why you are doing this way. Even the question when they asked her, was the first time that your kids were aware of the divorce was on camera? And she says, well, we wanted to do it another type of way. Well, with a counselor, but it just didn't work out that way. And then Gizelle jumps right in and was like, no, that's actually not true. Because even Gordon was on camera saying, I don't want to feel with him, especially when the kids are involved.
Yeah.
So you, not only was that a boundary that was set, you then went against that boundary. and did it anyway for a storyline and for a show. Like,
and you know what's so crazy? Because let's go back to the last episode. Remember the finale of last season. Remember, Gordon was like, cut the cameras. I'm not filming with him at all. So he had been saying this since last year. We never thought that we were going to really see Ink in live time and them dating. Now, fast forward, she got a whole love triangle that done gone wrong. The shit is
someone asked, one of the audience questions was, what do you think about Ink besides his height? They just gonna keep on eating that man up. I thought what Wendy said was really kind, but the way Wendy circled back around and made sure hey, this is what I felt. That was what I felt about Ink. But let me tell you what I feel about this situation. Mm-hmm. And the way she just sitting very calmly beside this girl saying, you're a liar. This whole storyline is made up. And the way Mia is looking at Wendy as if, girl, what do you mean? How could you believe? Why would you say that? It's everyone feels that way, Mia. Everyone. Yeah.
And that's when Gizelle jumped back in again. She jumped in again because that's when they started talking. Do you even live here? When you start filming again, you'll be coming up from Atlanta because that's where you live at. Mm-hmm. Well, and again, flying in row 36A. But again, the whole situation is a mess. I'm sorry, Mia, you're actually a liar, and the lies aren't good. And even Kay jumped in. Kay was see though, you let us on. She's literally no, you let us on, girl. You gave us a story about Gordon, we ran. You said he was sick, we ran with that. You said you divorced him, we ran with that. It's too much now. It's it's all too convenient too at the time. All her stories are conveniently laid out like chips.
No, facts. Go ahead, Jared.
And the fact that we went through this whole paternity storyline and you had this child by IVF.
Now
and tried to lie. She tried to lie. They ate her up.
Oh my God. But she said that she could have been pregnant already. And Wendy's no.
That's the equivalent to me, being on PrEP. You can't get on PrEP and literally you cannot get a subscription unless you get tested.
Yeah.
Before get tested.
Right.
So that's the first thing that came to my brain when she said that. I was like, are you serious?
And yeah.
On a cast full of women.
Right.
Women.
And then she said you can't detect it until 4 weeks or whatever. And even Ashley's no, they do a blood test. You can tell right then and there.
A blood test, girl.
It's oh God, it's girl. Just let the mouse lie, Lord.
I didn't understand the IVF thing, and you know what's crazy? This was the first time we actually even heard that she did IVF. Remember, I don't think we were privy to that story prior to that. I did not know Mia had those. They were through IVF. I did not know that.
I don't think I knew that either.
She mentioned it during the last reunion when it first came up.
And see, that went over.
And I don't know how she mentioned that, and I don't know how we kind of forgot about it, and then it got brought back up again. But she definitely mentioned it during last year's reunion.
So, but you see, a lie is a lie is a lie is a lie. Mm-hmm. She said so much. She said so many lies that went over our heads. Because had we known that, we could have been holding her accountable for the paternity suit before.
Mm-hmm. No, facts. Then they try to highlight, or I guess lean more over to Gordon. And then they basically talk about how Mia's probably lying on Gordon too. And then Kay said it's almost like it's elder abuse. That took me out. And then Mia comes back again and says, because when I say Mia fumbled so bad, y'all, when last reunion, when Gordon came out about his diagnosis of him being bipolar, the narrative shifted. It started to shift. Oh my God, Mia is actually maybe we got it all wrong. Mia is a writer. And then she comes back with this crazy storyline. Here she comes again saying Gordon wanted to come here and apologize to me because essentially he's making me look crazy. Gordon is not a housewife. Right. Gordon only basically everything that we know about this situation is predominantly from you. I don't even think does Gordon post?
I've never seen a social media.
He ain't no Simon. We don't get to see.
He was dragging her for a minute at first when they first separated and all that stuff. He was, yeah. And remember, did he do a radio show at some point too?
Ooh,
last season.
I don't know. Yeah. He may have. He may have. That kind of does sound familiar. Mm-hmm. But just to close that little part out, Gizelle basically comes back in and says, hey, dog, let's be real. The only reason that you're regretting any of this or feeling any type of way about this is because social media is eating you up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was such a great point.
Yeah.
Ripping smithereens is what she said.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I think the last part of this before they get into like Giselle's part with the kids and things like that was they asked Jacqueline, I guess it was an audience question, like, Jacqueline, do you feel that Mia is a liar? And she says she doesn't feel that Mia is a liar. She says Mia is very honest with her, but she does kind of feel like Mia can embellish from time to time, but she's not a blatant liar.
Now,
I don't even know why we wasted this question on Jacqueline.
I don't even understand why Jacqueline is still here.
Fair.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
So then we move over to basically the whole situation that happened with Giselle's children, what Mia said. Once that package is over, Mia then, comes right out and says she immediately apologized to Gizelle and that basically that it should be over. But again, Gizelle was not here for that.
She was like a dog.
This is the only time through this whole reunion I felt bad for her. This is the only time I felt bad for her.
You felt bad for Mia?
Only time I felt bad for her.
Why?
I felt that she was done. She was done. We ain't had to kick her when she was down.
Last house though. This the thing.
But it's already done though. It's already done. We already just beat her to death saying that she a horrible mom. And then without it being said at that time, we already beat it down. And so apparently this was cut out. And again, I'm not sure why this was cut out.
I don't know why.
But when they had that interaction at that table at what's the spot called, Jared?
Shakers.
At Shakers, they're having it back and forth, and then Mia jumps up and gets in her face. Mm-hmm. Why would you cut that out?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I just didn't understand that. And so then basically Gizelle doubles down by saying no good mother would put the paternity of their child on TV like this.
Period.
And Gizelle was like dog walking that poor lady, and she had to get up and say, you know what? When it comes to my kids, I'm done. And Danielle will tell you this. My number one pet peeve about reality TV show people, sweetie, I'm not talking about your children. I'm talking about you as a mother. There's a difference.
Yeah.
If I say that you left your kids at home with a cat food and a jug of water, I'm not speaking about your child. I'm talking about you as a mother. There's a complete difference. Let's not try to weaponize your children.
And now, see, you and I have had this argument before. Because remember, I told you, I don't give a damn what you say. If you was to me, it is to them. So this is that's why this argument started. You can ask any, I'm telling you, any mother would say the same exact thing. There's no way. Because once you even mention a child's name or me and the child or the situation, all bets are off. And like Kay said, honestly, I really wish that they would just leave husbands and children out of it. I really do. Because they only end in tears. All those arguments out of all these years, 18 years of franchise history, as soon as somebody say husband and as soon as somebody say somebody kid, all hell breaks loose. I really wish they would just stop doing it.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and that's when it gets dark.
Yeah, that is when it gets dark.
And that could be, and you know what, and the crazy thing about that, it can get dark. This could be an episode from the first episode of the season, but it's going to drag the entire season from that one little incident because you spoke about the kid and because you spoke about the husband.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with that. I think the only slight difference is the fact that she was the one that was predominantly bringing it up versus somebody like digging it up. So that's that's kind of what couldn't make it dark because you brought us in, you gave us all of this. It ain't like somebody messy like Ashley that dug it up or did research, you know? And so the girls get up for break or whatever. And then it is a backstage situation. We then get to see Greg and Happy Eddie. And basically they FaceTime TJ. I know I just said this earlier, but TJ, he's such a messy girl. Like, he's such a messy queen. And so whatever he said to the boys, of course, Eddie gonna text his wife. And Wendy did like the number one thing that irritates me. It's like you screaming like, oh my God. And everybody's like, what? And she don't say nothing. Everybody's like, what? Say it.
And once I seen that bottom lip trembling, I was like, ooh, that's tea.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is. I feel like we said, it's probably gonna be another Walter and Kenya situation. Him saying she was supposed to be paid or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be something that exposes another part of who the real Stacy is.
No, I could definitely see that. Well, who cares about the real TJ?
No.
He can go away. Say that again.
He may want to be a cast member.
He does.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can see that. So now it's time for our favorite segment of the show, and that is
Everybody just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. And so, for me, I would have to say the person that definitely needs to calm the F down, it would definitely have to be Mia. I mean, you just watch this episode all over again, and you'll see exactly why I said Mia needs to calm down.
For me, it's going to be Jacqueline. 1, look at the correct camera. 2, we're not staying tuned. We're not staying tuned, Jacqueline. We don't want you back next season. No one wants you back. No one will be staying tuned. Please calm down.
I'm actually picking. I have to pick 2 people. I'm sorry. First person is Ashley. I don't like how she came for Wendy and her marriage. I did not like that at all. I'm sorry. That's strike 1. You need to calm the fuck down because, like Wendy said, I clocked you, and my marriage is still around. Next would absolutely be Mia. You're a liar. I don't like it, and they're not good lies.
Okay, girl. So that's a wrap on this episode of Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast. If you love this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and follow us on social media. We'll be back next time with more takes, more mess, and hopefully a little more calm. Until then, stay unbothered. Peace.
Bye.
Everybody just calm down.
Girl, just calm down.